Before I start this video, I want to thank you again for all of the support you've been giving me as of late. I did not expect to receive so much in the last few weeks. It's really flattering, but also a bit overwhelming at the same time. It was just a lot more than I expected. I really do appreciate it though. Reading all of your comments and seeing that people are enjoying what I make has boosted my motivation a lot recently. Which you could probably tell if you took a quick look at my upload history. Anyway, with all of these new faces comes a lot of questions, so I figured that I would answer some of the most common ones I've gotten in combination with my review of Gaomon's PD1560 screen tablet. I also made a Whitty Speedpaint for this video, so I thought it would be fitting to mix in a few comments from my Trypophobia meme, which you guys have been enjoying a lot recently. I really appreciate all the support on that video. Before I get to reading some comments though, I will be unboxing and reviewing the aforementioned screen tablet. I know some of you may be rolling your eyes, but please don't leave just yet. There is more to this video after the review, I promise. And who knows, maybe this review could be helpful to someone who's currently looking to purchase a screen tablet. Let's start off with a quick unboxing of the tablet and everything that comes with it. At the very top of the box is a screen protector for the tablet, which I will be talking about a little more after everything has been unboxed. Right below that is the tablet itself, which is an HP IPS monitor with a 15.6-inch workspace and 1920 by 1080 resolution. It also comes with 10 unique shortcut keys, which you can customize to your heart's desire. Next, there's this sort of felt-like cover for the tablet. The tablet fits in nice and snug, but keep in mind that if you've attached the stand to the tablet, it will need to be taken off before you can slide it into the cover. Speaking of which, next up is the adjustable stand. This will need to be screwed onto the back of the tablet if you plan on using it. You can find the screwdriver and the needed screws in this little box of goodies. In that same box, you will also find a 2-finger drawing glove, the cords needed to power the tablet, the pen and its charging cable, and a pen stand that contains replacement nibs. All you need to do to attach the stand to the tablet is screw in the 4 screws, one at each corner, then voila! You can adjust the screen to the exact angle that's most comfortable for you. Now, about the screen protector. I'm only here to warn you to not do what I did. I don't generally put screen protectors on my electronics, so I failed to realize that applying it on my bed where my cats sleep would be a recipe for disaster. A bunch of little air bubbles formed thanks to all the fur and dust that got stuck under it, which I tried to ignore, but I ended up giving in and trying to fix it. It got a lot worse. Pro tip, carefully apply the screen protector in the cleanest area possible or have a professional do it. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, it's time to discuss my experience with this tablet. Tying back to the screen protector incident, I did end up having to take it off completely. It definitely felt nicer to draw with the protector on, but I could not handle the growing number of bubbles under the screen. This means I'm drawing straight on the screen, which I'm used to doing as my previous screen tablet did not come with a protector, but there are still some downsides that you should be aware of should you take the same path I did. You will have to deal with the sometimes off-putting feeling of drawing on glass, as well as the reflectiveness of the screen. It'd be in your best interest to keep it away from direct light if you want to see what you're doing. Again, this doesn't bother me all that much since I got used to it with my other tablet, but I am well aware that this could potentially be frustrating to other people. Just make sure the protector is applied properly and you'll be fine. Another thing my previous tablet didn't have was shortcut keys. I'm a bit of a creature of habit, but I did my best to minimize my keyboard use in order to make sure I was fully utilizing the tablet. This is where I ran into another small issue. I quickly discovered that the shortcut buttons on the tablet and the pen do not work on Painttool Sci version 1 at all. After trying to fix it myself, I sent an email to support and was soon told that some of this tablet's features do not work well with Sci 1. I switched over to Sci 2 like they suggested and everything worked fine after that, but it was still worth a mention since there's likely quite a few of you out there who are Sci 1 users like me. Aside from those few missteps along the way, I've had an overall pleasant experience with this tablet. The 8,192 levels of pen pressure is great, especially if you mess with line weight a lot like I tend to. The tablet itself isn't too bulky, especially when I compare it to my old tablet, and it feels pretty high quality. When it comes to the pen, the fact that it needs to be recharged really isn't that much of a downside as some of you may assume. I've yet to charge it in the month that I've had this tablet, and it's not like I haven't been using it either. I animated the entirety of Trypophobia, part of Machine Gun, and have worked on several drawings since receiving this tablet. Once it does die though, all it needs is a couple of hours of charging and it'll last you quite a while until it dies again. Plus, you can use the pen while it's plugged in if you're really in a rush to get something done. Although I found myself using my keyboard from time to time out of habit, the shortcut keys on the tablet are really easy to customize and use. It's also really nice that the stand can be adjusted to the exact angle you want, and it isn't restricted to a few pre-designed angles. Even after a bit of adjusting, the colors on the tablet screen are not completely accurate, but they do match my monitor's colors fairly well and aren't severely affected when you view the tablet at an angle. That's one of the major issues I had with my previous tablet. The colors on my old tablet, especially darker colors, tend to blend together a bit, especially if I was looking at the tablet at an angle. One of the biggest upsides, however, is the price of the tablet, especially when you compare it to similar tablets on the market. A Wacom Cintiq with the same screen size costs $650. Huion, which is considered a Wacom competitor, has a similar display for $400, and that's without a stand. The PD1560 costs $360, and from what I've noticed, it's on sale quite often on Amazon. In fact, the tablet's on sale right now. You can purchase this tablet for $255 until the end of the week, which means you're saving a whopping $105 on an already cost-effective tablet. Overall, I would recommend this tablet to anyone who's looking to purchase a screen tablet without severely murdering their wallets. I'm not saying it's the best tablet out there, of course, but it is definitely a quality product, especially for the price. Now that we're through the review, I'm sure there are a few questions that you'd like to see me answer. These are the most common ones I've seen as of late, so my apologies if you've got a burning question that I don't end up answering. Feel free to leave it in the comments if so, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Let's get the most obvious question out of the way right now. What programs do I use? I use Paint Toolsci for drawing, Adobe Animate for animation, and Sony Vegas Pro for editing, although I have been experimenting a bit with programs such as After Effects and Clip Studio Paint. For future videos, I will be putting the programs I've used to make that video in the description. What frame rate do I use? Nearly all of my animations play at 15 frames per second, although I tend to edit at 30 frames. The frame rate of the animation doesn't change, but if I tween something in Vegas, for example, it comes out at 30 frames per second. How do I create my videos? This isn't really a question that I can simply explain within a few minutes, and even if I could, it would be a lot more effective if you could see what I'm doing. I might consider making process videos in the future if that's what people want to see. Feel free to let me know if that's the case. How long have you been animating? At this point, I've been animating for well over 6 years. My first video is pretty close to the first animation I made, although I made a few more before that I can no longer access. I had been messing around with digital art around a year before I even tried animating. How are you so good at drawing and animating? First off, thank you. I'm happy that you enjoy watching my animations and seeing my art. Second, as the previous question has revealed, I've been doing this for a long time at this point. I still have a lot to learn, of course, and I need to work on a few things, but I feel like I've done pretty well for myself considering I'm mainly self-taught. I've followed tips and have taken inspiration from other artists, of course. What I mean when I say that I'm self-taught is that I discovered most of what I know on the internet through watching videos and looking at other people's art. I also put in a lot of practice. There is no way I'd be at the point I am now without practicing. Do I have any tips when it comes to animating and drawing? Of course, I could give you the basic practice advice, but I feel the need to mention something else as well. It can really hurt your development as an artist if you compare yourself to other artists all the time. Of course, you should be looking at other artists' work and be taking inspiration from them, but when you compare your progress with their progress and how long it took them to get where they are now with how long it took you, that's when things get a little messy. Don't let other artists discourage you. Let them inspire you. It really does help. Now, to stray away a little bit from the topic, I wanted to respond to a few common comments that have made their way onto my trypophobia meme. There are two questions that stuck out to me most. Why doesn't Whitty have a neck? As you may or may not have noticed, Whitty's neck is not visible at all in the mod. That was all of the art that I had seen of Whitty at that point, so I decided to take a little bit of creative liberty and have his head float when it was pulled away from his body. It wasn't until after I finished the drawing for this speed paint that I went to Sockclip's Instagram and saw drawings of Whitty where he does, indeed, have a neck. I'll still probably draw him without one though, because you know what? I think it's fun. The other question that stuck out to me was, why does Whitty have a nose? Now, I didn't expect people to confuse the lines between his eyes for a nose, but I've gotten a lot of comments asking why I gave him one. It ain't supposed to be a nose. They're there for the sole purpose of exaggerating his expression, but to be fair, I probably could have executed them a little better. This next one isn't really a question, more of a comment that has popped up quite a bit recently. A lot of people are saying that they'd like to see my Whitty drawings in the mod itself. A couple have even asked me if they could mod them in for me. I got a little curious and decided to try and do it myself. Here are the results. There's quite a bit of clipping because my drawings don't line up with the assets that were made for the mod super well. Will I ever decide to modify or redo my drawings so that they work properly in the mod? Maybe? This is just something I did for fun since people brought up the idea. I don't want it to feel like I'm trying to improve assets that don't really need improving, even though in reality that's not what I'm aiming to do. I'm flattered that people want to see my art in this mod, but for now, this is the best you're gonna get. And that's where I'm gonna end this off. A huge thank you to anyone that stuck around till the end. I know that longer videos like this are a bit odd, considering I don't usually make anything longer than 2 minutes. But I hope you enjoyed it regardless. Thank you to Gaomon for sending me a tablet to review as well. I never really thought I'd get to the point where tablet companies would ask me to review one of their tablets, so I'm thankful that I got to reach that milestone. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you around.